Good morning, good afternoon, bonne nuit, good evening, wherever you are in this great big world. Welcome to our channel. This is Lunar Goddess Tarot, formerly Divine Truth Tarot. I mainly read for the counterparts, but I do mix in a lot of astrological information, astrological transits, as well as raising the consciousness on this planet. So I am a light worker, a twin flame, and a star seed. I resonate or represent the divine feminine. However, I do have a lot of divine masculine energies within me, and at times I can appear masculine dominant. So I do think I have a lot of silent DMs out there that watch the channel because I can tune into the divine masculine energy quite well, sometimes with a lot of precision. And right now, if you're new to the channel, I'm focusing on the divine feminine and her journey, mainly because I was guided to do this, and I was told that it's time for the feminine to really focus on herself. What's a little frustrating is, as readers, we find that what most people want to hear is all about the divine masculine. So those readings get a lot more views, but I'm hoping that with time, the divine feminine empowerment readings will start to gain traction, because the only true way to union is to inner union. You cannot get to outer union if you have not reached a state of inner union. You cannot get to outer union by focusing on your counterpart, what they're doing, what they're not doing, the lack of their presence in your life, who they're with, what they said, the longing energy. None of that gets us into union, right? So that's all ego. And we are being asked to move past the ego and move into a state of pure consciousness regarding this connection. And this is a connection first and foremost with yourself. If you can understand that your divine counterpart is you walking around in another physical form or body, having different experiences, or maybe same experiences or similar experiences at different times on your journey, then you may be able to have a little more empathy and compassion. So for instance, think about this. When you get mad at your counterpart, you're upset with them, you're blaming them, you're projecting onto them, you're really mad at yourself, projecting onto yourself. So the answers are not to go call your counterpart, text your counterpart, blow up on them, or block them, or do this. The answers are always to go within on this journey, no matter how challenging or daunting that seems. And it can be scary, yes. So going within, what am I mad at? What aspect of myself am I holding a grudge against? What aspect of myself am I not being patient enough with? If they're, for instance, completely disconnected and cut off from their heart, you want to determine, is this an emotionally detached or emotionally unavailable person, first and foremost. And sometimes it's hard to do that on this journey. Well, is this an emotionally unavailable person, or is this really my true divine counterpart? In time, that is typically revealed, especially if you've had experiences with relationships like that. You can typically know the difference. And then the other question on this journey would be, what is this showing me? So this person's actions, let's say regardless of if you know if they're your true divine counterpart or not, maybe you're in the confusion stage, which is where feminines are traveling through most of 2021. You're very confused. Things are very murky in the 3D. There's illusions afoot. There's a lot of deception coming from the counterpart, from the physical divine masculine. There's a lot of deception there. They're not being honest. They're not being forthright about their feelings or their emotions or even their intentions. Okay, or what they're planning or doing in their 3D world to prepare for you and prepare for this union. And we're not supposed to know those things. It's at this point, it's become invasive and nosy, and the masculine energy was getting a little pissed off that we were all up in their business. They're trying to accomplish things. They're trying to set things in motion for this union and for this experience. And so the feminine is asked to turn away and look within herself to see, okay, what can I work on? They're over there working on whatever they're working on. What can I work on? And how can I heal myself to a greater level? So we're going to start with the How to Love Yourself cards. And for those of you who have booked private readings with me, I did take a break from those for about a week because I was absolutely energetically drained. And trust me, you do not want any reading from that place. I will resume them next week and I will have them all done before the end of the month, okay? So please wait until the end of the month before you reach out to me. I do make that very clear that the readings will be delivered by the end of the month. And this is why I don't specify a specific date, because things are ever changing, rapidly changing on this journey. So thank you for your patience, and I will have those to you as soon as I am able to, and it will be, trust me, worth the wait. Okay. So focusing on yourself, Divine Feminine. My mind is a powerful healing tool. So yes, my mind is a powerful healing tool rather than my mind is a tool that's here to destroy me or upset me or make me angry or hold me in these cyclic patterns, these negative thought patterns and belief systems that don't serve me. Every day I choose to send loving, healing energy to the planet. What I do with my mind does make a difference. So yes, feminines are definitely realizing how powerful they are, realizing the power of thought, the power of your consciousness, the power of your state of mind, and what this does to shift things on our planet and also shift things within your life and within your connection. When you focus on the lack, it has no choice but to manifest more lack. That's why if there's a karmic partner present within your connection, the best thing you can do is not focus on that person, and that person will disappear. They will evaporate from the connection. Trust me. But what you don't want that to happen. If you're already in separation, you're focusing on the separation, which I know is extremely challenging for the ego. This is all about taming the ego. The worst thing we can do in that situation is focus on the lack. Focus on the togetherness. Focus on the unity within you. Focus on the one soul concept. I let go of limitations and recognize the true beauty of my being. I visualize all my limitations falling away one by one until I am safe, healed, and whole. Yeah, this is the limitations that, we put on ourselves, the limitations that we sort of familiarize ourselves with on this journey and in our connection, the limitations of whatever that limiting belief is. Union will never happen. I'm unlovable. I'm unworthy. They never choose me. Something I want to speak about for a minute, because you guys seem to really enjoy when I share bits and pieces of my journey. I've been having dreams every night for the past 3 or 4 nights about younger masculines coming to me. So I do have a special connection with the masculine energy. So I resided in the dominant masculine energy for most of my life. Even though I am a divine feminine, I do resonate and identify as a divine feminine, I think. Most days, I think. I do carry a lot of masculine energy, and I did operate from that place for a long time in many of my relationships. And so the masculines are coming to me. These are younger masculines in their early 20s, maybe late 20s, okay? And they're coming to me, and they're very sweet. These are very sweet soulmate energies that are coming to me. So they're also coming to me to share where they're at on their journey and to share what they're going through. The one who came in last night was blonde. He had longish hair, and he was like a musician rocker type person. This might be somebody's person. And I do think he was a divine masculine, somebody's divine masculine, and he was confused and lost and really unsure where to go and what to do next. And he was looking for guidance and advice. And he was so loving, and he was showing vulnerability. His heart was open, and I'm trying to remember more of the dream. And if I remember more, I'll share it as we go here. But the point is you may be having these dreams as well with masculines coming to you. And I kind of wonder if that's happening because I've stopped focusing on the masculines per se and what they're doing. I'm still bringing up the masculine energy, of course, in the readings because we carry that within us. But I'm not focusing as much on the physical counterpart that is the masculine. So, interesting, yeah? Okay. It was almost like a plea for help. And there wasn't just one last night, there was like 10 that came to me. It was like I was at a party or something, like a pool party or something, and they were all they were all coming to me, and one of them was one of my DF friends was her divine masculine. He wanted to be left alone. So I never actually saw his face in the dream. He was turned away from us, like playing a game on his TV or something, and he just wanted to be left alone. So there is that energy. I mean, they are saying, like, some of them just want to be left alone. Others are asking for help at this time. Okay. So advice for the divine feminine. Follow your own rhythm, right? March to the beat of your own drum. Sing your own song. You know, this reminds me of whale energy. Sing your own song and let your people find you. Find your people with your song and your unique God-given gifts and talents, and understand that you don't have to move or speak or act the way other people move or speak or act. You don't have to be anything but yourself. Again, that Gavin DeGraw song, if you guys haven't heard it, it's I don't have to be, or what is it? I don't want to be anything other than what I'm trying to be, baby. So it's all about the divine feminine honoring who she is. Like, I can't be anything other than who I am. This is coming up over and over again, this authenticity theme. You know, go within, feminine. The answers are not external. They never were, but more than ever right now, the state of affairs on this planet, everyone is asked to go within and to honor that place inside of you where the answers truly reside. Okay? This is about inner trust and knowing that you are being moved by this ancient force, this ancient divine force, this divinity that is within you. And we feel it, right? When we dance, think about it. When we dance, when we move our bodies, or maybe you're a runner, maybe you're a swimmer, maybe you like to go to the gym and throw down some weights. But that's movement in any form. Maybe you just walk. And there's something that is dying within us at this time. Yes, you can feel this falling away, this stripping away action. It's a deep, deep surrender. Okay, on a cellular level, parts of us are dying. This is the scorpionic death theme I've been seeing over and over and over. Parts of us are dying so that new parts can be reborn or can be born. So you know that this is happening. You sense that it's falling away, that this part of you is no longer needed. So make sure that you don't grasp or cling with the ego, and that you let it fall and you let it reveal itself in time. There's this period of transition that the feminine is in. And this reminder that you can't miss what's yours. You can't, if this connection and this union is destined for you in this lifetime, you can't miss it. You can't fuck it up. Okay? It will find you. You will find it. So there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to cling to. I know there's pain on this journey. I know there's grief. I'm moving through grief myself. I'm moving through that death process in a major way. That's why I've been quiet. I'm moving through it. I feel it. Your heart chakra will be expanding at this time for some of you, and opening, and then wanting to shut, and opening and wanting to shut. And it's a process of continuously open and close and open and close, and finally it stays open. And we have to remember that when we shut our hearts off, we also shut our hearts off not just to the pain, but to the love and to the beauty that exists in this life. So remember that, feminine. You don't need to push yourself. There is a cycle. And my masculine so beautifully reminded me of this the night that we met. He talked about the season of life that he was in. You know, the masculines are poets in their own right when they want to be, when they're speaking in more than 2 or 3 words in a period, right? And he said, this season of life that I'm in, it's the most difficult, it's the most challenging. Why did I meet you now? Well, of course you met me during the most difficult season of your life, because I was there to see him through. I was there to be his eyes. I was there to push him out of his comfort zone, to trigger him just as he triggered me, to help him make that change, to know that he was brave enough and strong enough. And I look back and think I could have been more compassionate. I could have been more empathetic. I could have been more kind. But that's what I knew at the time. I was doing my best with what I had at the time, just as he was. So we really need to forgive ourselves. And forgiveness is a key theme. If you go through life with unforgiveness in your heart, it will bring you significant emotional pain and also physical pain. So find this balance, feminine, between effort and surrender, action and letting go. And know when there's, the rhythm calls for rest and recuperation, and know when the rhythm calls for contemplation, know when it calls for meditation, know when it calls for movement and action, know when it's calling for that gentle expansion or nourishment of the soul. Okay, and so listen to that rhythm of your own heart. And I know there's a feeling of agitation and restlessness right now. I know this. And part of this is moving through this death process. It's quite uncomfortable physically. It's uncomfortable mentally, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. It's not comfortable. But the more we fight it, the more we try to resist it, the more we try to control it, the more it controls us. That's a fact. So we are being asked to celebrate the cycle of life and celebrate the rise and the fall of the rhythms that exist within us and within our own dance. So release anything that you feel is unhealthy or weighing you down or heavy. Belief systems, structures, foundations. I know when we release foundations, that's very scary to the ego. And know that you are assisted through unconditional love and that you will find your way in divine timing. No forcing, no rushing. So believe in yourself enough to know that you'll know when it's time to move, and you'll also know when it's time to rest. Very important message here for the feminine. I do want to get a card. They're asking me to pull a card for the masculine energy. Okay, thank you. Come to life. Your movement here, your surrender and your movement is assisting in bringing the masculines to life, right? You see that she's painting her canvas, which is her own skin. There's a shedding and a slothing of the skin right now, and there's new skin. There's new life that's being reborn or being born here, being brought to fruition. The masculine is working on a masterpiece, and the masterpiece is him. You can apply this, of course, please do, to your own inner masculine. So the masculine energy within all of us, internally, and that physical presence that you define as your counterpart, is he's painting himself alive. There was a course I took once called Write Yourself Alive. And this is like painting himself alive, okay? So this course that he's taking, the cycle, right, the season that he's in his life, the masculines are really focused deeply on their own healing at this time. He's realizing how sacred and how special and how important he truly is on this planet, how important his life is. I don't think the masculine has ever really honestly felt that he mattered. The masculine energy from a very young age felt different, felt unique, but not in a good way. And they learned over time with discipline, right? The masculine energy is discipline, disciplinarian. They learned, and rigid sometimes in structure, that emperor energy. So the masculine energy learned how to push his emotions down, how to push his true self down, how to stifle who he truly was, how to stifle his vulnerability, how to stifle his empathy and compassion, how to stifle his spirituality. And this has caused a great deal of pain on all levels for the masculine. Okay, many masculines, this is now appeared in physical form as physical pain and manifestation, because when you push down your true God self for so long, when you push down who you truly are, like the feminine has learned as well, very painful lesson, When you stifle you, your true essence, your true soul, and you let the ego run the show, you're left feeling empty. So the masculine has been coping with this feeling of grief, this grief. They're grieving the old self. They're grieving that they can no longer operate in the same way, and they're having to learn how to operate in a completely different way, from a completely different level. And the masculine runs things like a program or a machine. They consider themselves this well-oiled machine, and all of a sudden they were pressing the buttons, the same buttons they'd always press, and it wasn't working anymore. It needed to be greased, it needed to be oiled. And that's what they're working on. These masculines have been alone for most of their lives, and they will express this to you, or they may have expressed this to you. I know mine had several times that they just felt alone. And you come into their lives and suddenly they feel understood, respected, and less alone. But are they ready for that? Right? Are they ready to accept that? If they're not accepting themselves, and this goes for you as well, reverse it. If they're not accepting themselves, how can they accept you, this divine love that you offer? They have to be able to accept themselves at a deep level in order for them to accept the love that you're giving. So they're going within to honor the masterpiece that they are. They're literally bringing themselves to life after a period of moving through their own death process. An ego death, a dark night of the soul, the realizations that the life that they had truly was fraudulent and was not making them happy or bringing them true joy. It was actually just routine. And yes, it was structured so it felt good on some level, good, quote unquote, but it wasn't fulfilling, and it was starving them. They were starving themselves of true affection, true devotion, of true partnership, and true joy. They were starving themselves of themselves. So it's like they have oxygen now, they have air now, and they can breathe. It's like, that's what I'm being shown, is this picture of a bunch of masculines suddenly like almost being reborn. That process when a baby takes their first breath, that's what I'm feeling right now with this card for the masculines, is the masculines are finally, they're being brought to life again. They're being reborn. And this will be a process. For some of them, it will be very spiritual or religious. And for others, it will be more of something they experience in the 3D world. But they're really asked to support themselves right now and have strength and courage at this time. And they're really working to release themselves from their ego. Okay? And they're really getting back in touch with their heart. That inner rebel, right? The heart is a rebel. The mind is a servant, but the heart is a rebel. Okay? The mind is just habitual reactions and responses to life that we've learned. That's all. It's a learned reaction and response. The heart beats to its own rhythm. So you see the feminine is over here dancing to the beat of her own drum. And as you make moves in your life, feminine, the masculine energy has no choice but to follow you. The feminine is in fact the leader. The masculines, yes, they lead sometimes briefly, temporarily, but the feminine energy is the energy of creation, the energy of manifestation, the energy of intuition. And the masculine energy follows with action. They follow by taking steps and strides towards you. They have no choice but to follow you. If you're in denial of the connection, this will be reflected. If you're in denial of your own spirituality or your own divinity, this will be reflected back to you. They may act in ways that are not only deceiving, but that may be even devilish. There is an awakening happening within these masculines. It's like a bubbling up to the surface, okay? Taking that first breath of life, an awakening. And it's deeply sensual. This is their feminine energy rising up within them. This is what's going to heal the planet. This is exactly what we need at this time. Now, this isn't always pleasant because their life has been shaken up. And for a long time, the masculines blamed, and some of them might still be blaming the feminine for this. okay? Let them move through this process. They will soon realize that, just like you've realized, that you came to wake them up, and you had to trigger them in a certain way to get them, to shake them out of the routine that they were in, to shake them out of that place, of that darkness. And structures crumbled in their life, but that's how it had to be. Now, the feminine typically had those structures crumble before meeting the masculine. It's usually the masculine energy that moves through this process. So that might tell you if you're the masculine or the feminine in your connection. Okay, but regardless, this shakeup had to happen. It was just a matter of time. So they're creating a lot of space for themselves in their life. I feel like they're doing some spring cleaning where they're actually throwing items or objects away, clearing out space, bringing in more light into their homes that they've moved into, because many of them are now living solo, okay, healing, moving through the healing process. And the truth is that they don't want to bring you into their life if they're still connected to something or someone from the past. And like I've said, guys, even those masculines who went through divorces or separations last year, if there's children involved, if there's money involved, if the divorce is still pending, the masculines are very reluctant. They're traditional. They're going to be very reluctant to reach out to start anything that they can't finish. They've made a promise to you and to themselves that they will not come back in until they can really come back in and offer you something solid. So they might say something like, I've got more to offer you now, but it's not quite enough, or I'm working on it, or I'm getting there. These are all hints. This is their higher self telling you, I'm not there yet, and I won't come in until I can offer you everything that you deserve, and everything that you've asked of me, and everything that I know that I deserve myself to give you. They know what they're capable of. They don't want to disappoint you anymore. They don't want to hurt you anymore. They don't want to cause any more pauses. Like, they don't want to cause any more setbacks in the connection. So they feel it's best right now. They're listening to their higher self, and they feel it's best to just take a step back, watch you from afar, bring themselves back to life. This is not your job. They know that it's their job. It's nobody else's job but theirs. They can't go back to sleep. So don't worry about that, feminine. For your masculine, if you're watching this reading, they can't go back to sleep. They're too awake for that. Okay? There's no going back to their old ways. That's not happening. So you can breathe a sigh of relief. That is not happening. They're awake. And please do not think that your counterpart isn't doing their work, or that you're doing more work than they are. They're just not showing you yet, or they're not showing the world yet in the physical, the work that they've done. They so badly want to share this with somebody, with you, with the world, but it's not time to reveal that yet. Okay, this is all in divine timing. Things are happening behind the scenes that the feminine is just not meant to know. That's why I'm not looking into what they're doing. This is like the energy, but this is a different kind of a reading. They're definitely going through a grief process, and they will come to a celebration of their new life, but I think it's been challenging for them to grieve what was. They have to also let go of this idea that they failed themselves, and they failed another, and they failed their children, and they failed their families, they failed society, they failed, again, themselves. They have to let go of this. They have to embrace this process of uncoupling themselves, or unattaching themselves, detaching themselves from their old life. Okay? So let's look into the animal energies here. So look at this. Almost 30 minutes here with only 4 cards. That's when you know that it's a good reading. I knew it was going to be a good reading. Do not knock down my cards, Mr. Parkour. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to give it one more shuffle, and we're going to pull an animal card. Interesting. So if you saw the card that fell as I was shuffling, it was actually on the bottom of the deck here. Well, I don't know if it was in the bottom of the deck, but it fell out, and it was Wolf, Pathfinder. So The masculines are finding their path at this time. Release your past and start a new journey. That's exactly what they're doing, okay? You are a teacher and help others find their way. They're a great teacher. These masculines hold great wisdom within them. They just haven't unearthed it or unleashed it yet. There will be challenges, but your soul is strong. Yes, masculine. Perseverance is your secret power. You have a love that endures. They truly, truly, they are opening their hearts during this process, especially if they're going through the grief process. Their heart will be open, very open and raw. So feminine, you may be feeling this in the form of heart chakra openings, activations, upgrades, pains. Disclaimer, as always, if you think it's a health issue, please see your doctor. I have to say that. But you will be feeling the sensations, and you will be feeling maybe the pulling or the tugging of your own heart. This is your masculine and their presence going through this awakening, moving through this process and wanting some support. I feel that they're very vulnerable and raw right now, judging by the dreams that I've had. These masculines, many of them have come in my dreams and wanted to be romantic in the dream. And it's flattering, the attention, because I don't receive it in the 3D really, because I'm like a hermit lately, as many of you are. And I don't resonate with 3D masculines, so yeah. But these masculines that are coming through in the 4D, in the dream state, yeah, it's flattering to receive the attention and the energy, but at the same time, they're coming through with messages, and they're coming through with also letting us know where they're at. So funny, I say I'm going to step away from masculine readings, but I am. I'm not looking into it. This is different. This is actually their energy wanting to come through. I'm not searching for it. I'm not looking for it. It just needs to come through. So they just want you to know, feminine, that they're on this path and that they don't have a choice but to move through this by themselves, just like you. They're a protector, you know, they're loyal. This is about loyalty. This is about strength and willpower and courage. This is also leading them back to their true essence, their wildness. They're like rewilding themselves, if you will. This is about the masculine staying the course. This is a true masculine energy. It's leadership, it's strength, it's courage, it's survival, it's social order, right? The leader of the pack, the alpha wolf, the alpha male. And this is what the planet needs right now, is alpha males. Not toxic masculinity, but alpha males, leaders, true leaders. Not leaders that are connected to their heart. I'm not speaking of leadership and masculine qualities that are disenchanted or disconnected from their heart, leading from their ego. No, this is a leader. The wolf is a leader that leads from his heart space, from his intuition. They're going to be called, these masculines, the ones who are being brought to life right now, moving through swiftly through this awakening process. They're going to be called to help others and teach others, bring others through this birthing canal that they're moving through. So they're going to be there at the other end of the birthing canal saying, I'm here for you and I've got wisdom and insight. And I do feel these younger masculines will be reaching out to the older masculines. Many of our masculines are in their late 40s or 50s, some in their 60s on this channel, I think the majority. And so the masculines that are coming through in my dream state are younger masculines that are in need of help. I think these are masculines who are literally just waking up. Our masculines have been moving through this process for a while, so they're going to be asked to assist these younger masculines with moving through this process, because it's very scary for the younger masculines. They're having to move very quickly, and their thoughts, their what they thought life was, what they thought, I mean, everything has just been turned upside down. Feminine energy, cougar, assertive. Wow. In silence you find power. Yes, in silence, in your own silence, in your own heart. Claim your leadership role. Look, both feminine and masculine, leader, powerful totems. Claim your leadership role and take action. You know where to go and what to do. You have the courage and confidence to succeed. You're both being called up now. Step up to the plate, masculine and feminine. What a power couple, what a pair. This reading turned into something really amazing. I love it when that happens. For some reason, when I do early morning readings, which is rare, I tend to get the most amazing messages that come through. So, Cougar energy asks us to follow our hearts and complete our goals, okay? Cougar moves with agility, very, very graceful presence, graceful movement. Now, both Cougar and Wolf are protectors of their clan, protectors of the people that they love, protectors of what they believe in. And this is a very shadowy energy, though. So the feminine, you're operating from the shadows right now. You're not necessarily out in the daylight or the sunlight. So it may feel like this as you've been moving through this death process. And you're seeing the truth moving through or coming through the silence. This is about trusting your intuition and trusting that your intuition will guide you, that your ego can take a backseat to your intuition, that you'll know what to avoid, you'll know who to trust along the way. This is also about finding your own sanctuary, feminine, finding your own rhythm, finding your sanctuary within yourself. You're definitely stepping into your power in a very significant role. And there's a lot of opportunities, okay? There's grace and passion, purpose, leadership. And this to me is union energy. This is the union of the souls, the union of the hearts. And they're just giving me throat chakra upgrade. Feminine is guided not to speak necessarily at this time, but to communicate in other ways. Perhaps this is why I've been so quiet on the channel with speaking. There's a lot of throat chakra upgrades right now, and that has to do with your self-worth. Solar plexus, throat chakra, sacral chakra, self-worth, healing the womb. And so I just want to be very clear, feminine, that what you're moving through is a process. What the masculine energy is moving through within you and without is a process. But you are moving closer together. This is probably the most power couple I think that I could find in this deck that is complement each other. The powerful woman, the powerful man energy. I'm speaking of energy because I know we have male couples, female couples. This is energy. So the masculine, the feminine energy, the masculine energy, both supporting one another, but both independently courageous and independently passionate and independently living. So this is a couple that will come together when they're both in their power. I'm just seeing a queendom, a kingdom. I'm seeing this. You're building your empire. And I see the queen in her chair. I see the king in his chair. Okay, I see you both taking your rightful places on this journey. I'm really being guided to let the feminine know that whatever pauses, distractions, obstacles have presented themselves on your journey thus far, it's for the greater good of the entire planet, not just you, but the entire planet. Because when the masculine comes through, he's coming through, he's found his path, he'll know exactly where he's going. You see the look in this wolf's eye. He's not shaky. He's not looking behind him, looking to his side. He's looking straight ahead, right into your soul. And that's what's going to happen. He's going to come to you and look straight into your soul and say, I know who you are. I know who I am. I know what our mission is. Let's do this. Okay? When you step fully, feminine, into this assertiveness, independent energy, your masculine will have no choice. You're bringing him to life. So understand, feminine, your role is very, very powerful in this journey. Never underestimate your ability to bring your connection to life, okay? I hope this was really, really helpful and inspiring and informative. I hope that this assisted someone or many people out there. I truly, truly enjoy doing these readings for you. Sending you lots of love and light. Have a beautiful Saturday. God bless, and I'll see you all very soon.